patient. All right, we're live.
Shalom.
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 First and foremost, before we get started, we're going to go all glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Honor, respect to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who will tell us his truth. I'd also like to say much love, peace, and salutations for the Lord's elect. But hopefully, I put on third, Brother Salah.
Brother, yo, what's up?
Brother Barak. All right,
All right,
we're live.
all right. In today's camp, we gonna go. We gonna jump straight into the third World War III, signs in heaven, and the ushering of the MOTB.
If you can just come closer so they can hear you a bit more. That's cool.
All right.
How about there's no need to go that far yet.
So stay right here.
Yeah, that's good.
Phone.
Just watch your phone.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. It says here, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? Right. So what's this year of March, right? And as one of the brothers said, the brother Amor Gabar said, March meaning war, man. Meaning the time of war, man. Just like 10 years ago, a decade, 2026, they had, I think they had the war in Syria, right?
Yeah, and not that long ago, like you had people saying that the war in Ukraine, like you hear of all these wars, but right, but yeah, in the U.S. there's nothing happening really substantial, right? In the actual country, and that's because the Lord he set it up where you're gonna hear wars and rumors of wars. These things will happen, but what has to come first, right? That implementation of the mark of the beast, right?
Oh.
It being mandatory.
Oh, extend here so they can see.
Yeah. The implementation of the mark of the beast being mandatory, right? So let's see.
All right, can I bring out precept?
Go ahead.
This is the book of Thessalonians 5:2. And I'm going to read on to verse 3. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Yeah.
For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And, what do you see? You see DJ T going around saying, we got this all figured out. We're at peace. There's safety. We got it all under control. We're going to handle it. Meanwhile, a few months later, then he goes and talks and gives a speech saying many will die. Many of these people are going to go to war and be pawns for this agenda that we have.
This
All
man,
right.
he literally said we're gonna have peace, we're gonna have safety. He even said what there isn't gonna be no World War III.
And now
He did say that, right?
Yeah, and what's funny? Now that you mentioned about Brother Al-Assad, like has the same energy as of Trump saying to the American people, some of you shall die, but that is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. Meaning he ain't gonna do shit
He ain't gonna do shit.
for the American people.
Yeah, this guy's what's the scriptures that talk about his words were smoother than butter?
Let's
Let me
get
bring
that.
that out right now.
I have another one, man. He said like he went back on his words, man. So in the scriptures talk about the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, let's get that.
I can bring it out if you want.
No, you get yours. Fuck.
I got something after you. You got it.
Can I bring this up?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this devil, from the moment he was born, he meditates on destruction, on terror, on using his weapons. That's his blessing. Esau has been blessed with the use of the sword and all the technology that comes with this warfare. And this is why we're in these times where you see these devils coming up with all sorts of AI, ballistic missile technology, all sorts of really high technical stuff. This is a war that's not just going to be on feet with troops, but a war in the air, a war that's mainly going to be fought above with all these different weapons.
Yeah, remember also the ground troops, man. The elect 144,000 Yahushua, they're gonna be the ground troops once Yahushua cracks them skies, man.
Yeah.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 5, man. And it says here that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, right? So yeah, you hear DJT Caesar Nero say there's gonna be no war, we're gonna have peace and safety, and then it says, oh yeah, you were sending your ass to war, man. Some of you are gonna die, but too bad. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make, niggas.
Yeah, for what sacrifice? For the gain of their own bellies. The scriptures in Job 9:24, if you go a verse before that, says the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? So starting off with those head banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, right? These devils are the ones that are pulling the strings right now. They're starting these wars to begin with, right? They're causing destruction to happen. They're entering into people's lands and just taking what's not theirs. Okay, and it's for the sake of their own belly to be filled, man. They don't give a shit about these troops. You guys are nothing to them. You guys are spittle to them. You know.
You're just like cogs in the machine, like pawns, basically. You got something, or
Go ahead, bring it up.
this is a book of Joel 3, chapter 3, and verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong," right? And what is that talking about? Basically, what these other nations, right? These agricultural nations, right? You know, what they're turning into basically nations of warfare now. You know, these because you have countries like Russia basically backing them up with nuclear weapons, right? Nuclear warfare, right? So that spirit of these countries being only for farming, right? Only for producing crops. No, now they're going to be countries basically meant to attack America, Babylon the Great, right? They're going to be countries for war too. They're not going to just be places for agriculture, right?
The Lord's putting on these other countries' spirits. These people, these countries that wouldn't necessarily be really involved on a global stage, but now they are.
And all it takes is for these countries to get up the blueprints for like a nuclear missile or like a bomb, right? And then all of a sudden they have access to basically creating their own weapons.
And they're going to do that a level faster than ever before, because if we're looking at 10, 20 years ago, you had to use a lot of manpower in order to create these weapons. Now, guess what? AI is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting to make these missiles and ammo and technology for warfare and mass production.
If your brothers ever looked at how China like makes mass produces anything, right? They could do the same thing with nuclear missiles, man. It doesn't take much. All it takes is an assembly line and of course AI with a given plan on how to make these missiles, man.
That's why I believe it's in the book of Joel. I could be, it could be a different one, but a scripture. But it talks about, I'm paraphrasing, an army that will not be wounded, right? Which is speaking about what those nuclear missiles, because when the fire and the nuclear missile comes in, right? It doesn't take any damage. It inflicts all the damage. It doesn't take any damage. So
This is the book of Joel, going into what the brother was just saying. Joel 2:8. Neither shall one trust another. They shall walk everyone in this path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So you want to go into that?
yeah. So basically, basically what these nuclear missiles, right? What happens when what happens? You're not sending any people to your battlefield. You're not losing any casualties when you on your army side when you have those nuclear missiles, right? They're wiping out millions of people, right? And it's easy. It's easy. You just send them in, right? You don't have to go breach into doors, right? You don't got to go do anything like that.
And you're starting to see it more than ever before. These heathen nations, man, these heathens in these other places are just getting blown up day by day. I mean, in numerous numbers, like in copious amounts of numbers. Kids dying, family members dying. I mean, we saw one, his whole fucking family just died. He was picking up the little tiny bones of his newborn baby daughter, this who appeared to be an Ishmaelite, but we don't know, sifting them, trying to shake out the particles, and he's pulling out this little tiny little speck of a bone. This is my three-day old daughter's bones. These devils don't give a shit. They don't care.
It's crazy because we're warning people the same way Noah was warning people back in the day. But what people are eating, marrying, drinking, right? They didn't give a fuck, right? And you have people out here, especially in Babylon, they're getting married, say 180 days before our new anniversary or our new wedding day.
At a time like never before.
You want to have a fucking wedding.
The scriptures talk about, it's foolish to just make plans far in the future like that, because you don't know what could happen. But these people don't think that way. They're thinking 10, 15, 20 years, 40 years from now. They really think in their mind right now that nothing's going on. The world is just going to be at peace and everything's going to be back to normal. We're going to live happily ever after. And we're afraid to tell you, sorry to say, actually, sorry, not sorry, because we
Okay.
want that to happen.
Yes.
But that's not going to be your plans. It's not going to be no 40, 50 years. All right. We're knowing this through the signs of prophecy that are
Do-
playing forth right before our very own eyes.
You got a hotspot so I can
Yeah, I got
Oh, one thing I like to say, right? People, as the brother Al Sop said, man, like we don't got no years, man. We barely even have months. Hell, we might even have weeks left, man,
see.
before shit goes full blown,
Okay,
man.
got it. iPhone.
And another thing, right? Now Caesar Nero DJT, right? Right, he just went. What was his plan, right? Bomb Iran, make them beg for mercy. But now Trump's the one begging Iran for mercy, right? But you know what? Since he didn't show Iran or any of these other nations mercy, we'll be like, nah, nigga, nah,
That's it.
nah, nigga, you went full force. Are we gonna attack you right back, right?
You're going to feel it now.
Right? This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 7, right? It says here, all the men of thy confederacy, all the men that Caesar Nero, Trump worked with, right? Russia, Canada, they make some deals with Russia, the EU, and some Middle Eastern countries, right? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, right? And now it seems like Iran got the upper hand against the U.S., right? They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, right? And that ultimately that wound's gonna be the ICM nuclear missiles, and when everything goes full nuclear, right? That's not before, but that's not gonna be before the RFID microchip, man. There is none understanding in it, right? Meaning what these motherfuckers, they got no wisdom left, right? They they thought it was a good idea to go all out attack Iran, right? But that pretty much is just was the beginning of the end of the American empire, right?
And even brother, the EU is withdrawing from that alliance.
Yeah.
They don't want nothing to do with America anymore because they see the nature that these devils are about. They see the DJT's true colors, man. How he's a cruel lord.
I got something actually. Um, let's see. Yeah, this is the book of Revelation 11 and 18. It says, "The nations were angry, and your wrath has come. The time has come for judging the dead, and for rewarding your servants, the prophets, and your people who revere your name, both great and small, and for destroying those who destroy the earth." Right? Esau, Edom, in the scriptures, Esau, Edom is the one who's destroying the earth. Right? What do you see this devil do? Right? He cuts down trees. He put concrete in the ocean. He puts plastic in the water. Right?
Dumps oil in the ocean, kills all the marine life,
Yeah, spreads toxins in the air, food and water.
kills all the endangered species.
That's what even the trees are mourning, the plants, the animals,
And
right?
you could even feel it in the air. There's a lot of people that talk about this too. Like the air doesn't feel the same way than it was 10, 15 years ago. I mean, shit, even 5 years ago. And that's because this devil is spraying in the air, pushing out so much chemicals day by day.
And you wonder why motherfuckers get sick, man, lose their voice, man. Like it's because this devil keeps spraying stuff, and then when motherfuckers come down, right, or this stuff like dissipates in the air, people get sick. Like, oh, why am I getting sick? It's because of the heavy metals and shit, man. It creates what, a toxic environment or an acidic environment, which breeds diseases, man.
And this goes into the book of Job 9 and 24, the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. These devils that have gotten the playbook to manipulate the system, the banking families, those pulling the strings, ultimately is from the Lord. He allowed that in the first place. These people don't care. They have no remorse towards human life.
They have no mercy, just
No,
not just human life, but all life in general, man. They don't have mercy in their own fucking life, man. That's what the scripture says in the book of James, chapter 2, verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath shewed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Right? Right. So so because these fucking devils, man, starting with you Rothschild, you wicked elites, man, because you have shown no mercy to the planet, right? Once Yahweh Shai comes back down with the elect, man, you motherfuckers ain't gonna receive an ounce of fucking mercy, man. It's gonna be all out straight hell, man. Even during the rest days, we're gonna find ways to make you motherfuckers suffer, man.
and most of you people would say, well, what are you talking about? Let's go to Revelation 13 and 10. All right, because this goes into what's going to happen to these devils. All right, and these are words from the Lord. All right, let me see if I can get it.
I have it right here, Ak.
Yeah, bring it out.
It says here, Revelation 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. So so the saints, right? Are are you Israelites, man? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but the elect, right? We, Lord will, we are part of that number. We are patiently waiting to put those in captivity who put us into captivity, man. And that's you fucking Edomites, man. You red devils.
And read that again. Read that one more time, because there's a key word that I want to bring out.
All right. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Keyword must, not if, not and, not maybe so. There's no getting around it.
There's no condition. People say, oh, the conditional. They speak conditionally, right? Oh, this would be the case.
Yeah.
This if this happens. No, the
If.
Lord, he already knows what is going to happen. He put things set in stone.
Yeah, and that word for must goes in the Greek.
Strong's G 1163. Die.
Die. Ironic, right? Not really. Yeah, and the Greek word for die is it's necessary. There is a need of it. Behooves, right and proper. So it is right and proper to put these devils into captivity. That put us into captivity.
They fucked up the whole earth. They ruined the whole earth. Nothing is good anymore on this defiled earth because of these devils. This is exactly why must be killed. And this just goes to show, man, to all of these heathens out there, this the Christianity doctrine, thinking that everybody and anybody can just come into the door and receive salvation. And if they call on that name JC, they're gonna be saved immediately. Bug the fuck out, man. All right. You walk into a church and you just think all of a sudden, yep, I'm saved. Yep, yeah. How long have you been saved for, brother? You're not. You're saved once you hit the finish line, man. The Lord has to predestine you to obtain salvation. It's not I'm saved. Oh, because I came into a church, I'm saved. And to all these people out there, man, that think these heathens, man, are gonna just adopt the Torah and come back to the laws and statutes. This shit was never even for Salakia. This was never even for them, man. All right.
You can follow the laws, right? Go ahead, follow the laws. But you can believe, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get salvation.
Yeah. And Salakia, because I tripped over my words for a second. These
What that
people,
guy was doing, just coming up here like
these people, man, these Edomites and these heathens, they're spittle, man. They're the equivalent of shit, as the scriptures say. They are nothing but spittle, spit, dung, right?
Less than insignificant.
Less than insignificant. What makes you think that these people are just gonna come on board? Think about it. It's like the same thing. Like if we're having a get together, and somebody says, you know what, whoever's at this get together, we're gonna have free food. Everybody free food, and then some stranger down the street hears that and comes over. All right, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. And this is
Well, yeah, how Shai didn't he warn about that? In the I believe it was in the book of Matthew, talking about the people that come from the back. But I'm paraphrasing, the back door. But also, you talk to people that were not invited to the wedding.
many men crept in unawares. Their condemnation was to show that they were using this gospel for lasciviousness. And I guess you could say that goes into these false prophets, man. These pastors, man. These fake ass phony baloney people, man. Like Deacon Hakah riding around with his little G-Wagon,
Yeah.
flexing.
Yeah,
You're only gonna have that for a couple more months.
He had a song saying "I'm getting better" while he's sitting in a G-Wagon. Where did you get that money from, bro? Let's be real. This dude probably took the bag. They probably, who knows what the amount was.
Yeah.
But you don't just get a G-Wagon out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, and these are the devils that are twisting the doctrine now. They're all of a sudden, from going and saying that heathens cannot be saved, they're saying that they could walk in the light.
What the fuck?
And this is why you got to pay attention to these people, because the scriptures clearly say that they're going to go into captivity. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't run around the scriptures. You can't undo what the scriptures say. The scriptures are true, 144%. All right. What you think and your opinions are not true. And I have this precept in the book of 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord Yahweh is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. And who's all? The Israelites of the elect. All right. To all you heathens, man, to the rest of you people, it's not for you.
No, you're being punished for what you did, for what you accomplished this devil to do. You're not being saved. You're about to get that recompense. That's what's about to happen.
Yeah, because listen, just like give an example, like the Native Americans, for example, the so-called Native Americans, the Gadites and the Reubenites. You know, they had their land, right? They were figuring it out, and then these devils came in and they brought smallpox and diseases, and then they pushed them into a little tiny strip of land that's difficult to farm on, flooded, really terrible conditions. While they take the prime land, and even then they come back and strip that too. And it's almost like somebody robs you, comes in your house, and
Gives
puts
you
your
like a
whole,
crumb.
puts your whole family in the bathroom in the closet and says, you know what? We're gonna get this whole big house. You can get that little corner, that little side closet, and stuff all these
This is what Esau does, though. He'll pretend he gives you a gift, and I know there's that scripture, although he pretend to help you.
adversity come
Yeah,
upon thee.
but he's like, oh, I brought you guys food, and then he actually had the intention to eating that food, and he eats the whole food. He gives you like a crumb. You know what I'm saying?
And this is his nature. You know, this is who he is in his DNA.
And then on top of that, he's doing that he's using reciprocity, so he's trying to get basically what, like, he's basically trying to kiss ass to you to get you to give him something.
like he make you think that he's helping you and giving you a deal, and when in reality he's coming up behind you. And I have this precept in the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Okay. And then it continues to say, let's see if it loads out. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. And what do you see? That this goes into the devil, his words being smoother than butter. I mean, this guy goes and sits in his room and looks in his mirror, his ugly ass fucking face,
And repeats them.
and repeats the same thing and speaks
Look.
in this pastoral, you know, like this proper voice. And these people eat it up because they're fools, man.
It's crazy because if you look at like you see that like video of this guy Marco Rubio. I don't know if you've seen that, or like Donald Trump or any of these speakers, right? They speak. They don't even say like or It's like they just speak
Smooth.
It's smooth.
I mean, they're rehearsing this like till the point where it's locked down, you know. And this is why, you know, you people get deceived. You people genuinely get deceived. All right. And the scriptures go into Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. The same Israelites that were saying Trump was sent forth from God ordained him, the same ones getting thrown in the detention camps right now. Funny, you know, because the Lord's not dealing with you people exalting these idols, man, these pieces of shit. You got any scriptures?
Yeah, I have one. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, and verse 10, right? And it says here, man, never trust thine enemy, man, for as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so this devil might say, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a raise, or I'm a, or I'm hey man, we got something for you, man. Or if you do this, man, we'll give you this, man." And that goes in the scripture, a gift is for the heart, right? Because this devil has ill will towards you, man. He wants to see you Jake's fall.
If you slave yourself, we'll give you a nice little dental insurance plan. We'll give you insurance, right? That's how they get you in. We'll give you a pension. We'll give you a paycheck just for these fuckers to fire you right before that pension is about to come in effect. Like, you know what? You've worked 30 years for the company. Boom. Fire you a month before. This is the way that this devil acts, man.
You got like someone worked for Burger King for 40 years. Like, we thank you for your loyalty, and then they'll give you like $25 gift card.
A $25 fucking gift card. And we say, we give these examples, man, because this just highlights this devil's nature. He doesn't have any good in his heart. There's no giving this guy mercy.
And the thing is, this is why the Lord, he's literally the fury of the Lord and his missiles are gonna just completely destroy Babylon. I don't know if you want to go into the missiles, but
yeah, he's gonna smoke you people.
All that hard work he did, all that work was done in vain, man. All that work that this devil tried doing, man, all of it's pointless.
Don't the scriptures talk about don't be envious of what these people have?
Yeah, because you know they might have mansions and all these millions of dollars, but they don't really, all these, everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, you see these Edomites at these resorts and eating 5-star food and all this, but really all that's the Lord is just gonna take all of that out.
The white picket fence, you know, me and the brother, we in the complex that we were living in, just to give a quick example, right beside it there was a resort, 4-star resort or whatever. And we would see these people, man, joyful, laughing, having a good old fucking time with their nice woman, not a fucking care in the world, some fucking sun
Oh,
soaking.
you would hear these
They're red at.
Edomites. They're like, yeah, I was
They're red at.
great. It's great time on vacation.
Yeah.
Just like no salts.
I
Like
mean, listen,
just
enjoy,
evil, man.
enjoy that for that little tiny moment that you had, man, in the grand scheme of things, because it's gonna soon be gone. But for us, for the men in Akwat, the few instances Akwat that are serving the Lord, it's not gonna be sunshine and rainbows for us.
And,
There's a balance to it.
And the Lord, He's gonna literally give us. Because right now, you see on this side, you see these strong Edomites, right? He's gonna give us so much. He's gonna give His men so much power, man. To the point we can just grab these people by our pinky finger with our mind. Just get the fuck down. Like, your ass is going into fucking slavery. They won't even question, man.
The spirit on us is gonna be transformed. We're gonna have new bodies, new mind, and for these people, their spirit is gonna be set up to be a natural servant, because that's what he was. He was supposed to be a servant, you know.
Yeah, the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31 says, envy not thou, that's like envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, man. Because why? Why? Because all his ways, man, sin that leads unto death, man. The victory is very close. So why sell out now, man?
Yeah. Why sell out for like whatever it is, man? Whatever it is, like the I believe it was the apostles or one of the elders in the GMS Chicago camp, if I'm not mistaken, from the lesson I was watching today. They were saying if you sold out 50 years ago, you had 50 years to enjoy that. But what do you have? A couple of months now at best? A fucking G-Wagon? Just 3 months is gonna go by. You're gonna be sitting there in that G-Wagon. What the fuck? You know? And listen, these people, they don't understand, they don't have faith to begin with. They really weren't about it. And this goes into Jude 1 and 4. This goes into Jude 1 and 4. If you can bring that out, Brother Barak.
Yeah, sure.
The book of Jude 1 and 4, because this goes to show you, man, these devils, these false prophets, ultimately they envied the oppressor in some way, shape, or form. They had the lust of their eyes, the pride of life. It choked them out from actually being sincere about this. They wanted to find a way to, make a quick buck or become a rapper or put the world and mix the world with the truth. You're not here to be a rapper. You're not here to go out and start making money from the Cash App and start stacking up. You're here to do the work of the Lord, man, in sincerity and truth. And it's supposed to be for free.
This is the book of Jude 1 and 4. It says, for there are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai into lasciviousness, and denying our only Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's what you see these people and these pastors come up out of nowhere, right? Even like, for example, Deacon Haka and what's it, Hassad. These are prime examples of men crept in unawares, and we know plenty of examples. But trying to we're up to a fresh start, right?
Fresh now, and that goes into denying the Lord, because you're denying the Lord's promises. You're denying what He says in the
traitors,
man.
They took the Judas bag.
You took the Judas bag at the last moment, at the very last moment. Now all of a sudden you want to renew yourself and have a fresh start. You switch up the doctrine completely. That means you're a hypocrite. That means you're a hypocrite. For all the years that you were so called in the truth before, everything just went right out the door. And for all the people listening and learning under you, now they have to just switch up their doctrine. Man, you guys had holes. You guys weren't firm and unmovable. You weren't steadfast, man. You were wishy-washy, man. You were double-minded.
This is the judgment that's coming to these people, man. Hold on. You can see that this is Terminator 2. Terminator 2. And this goes back to what? I'm gonna read it. There's a book of Zechariah 14 and 12, and it says, and this will be the plague with which the Lord strikes all the people who have warred against Jerusalem. Their flesh will rot while they stand on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongue will rot in their mouths. Yep. That's what happens when these nuclear missiles basically just come in and eat these people up.
And you false prophets, man. It's not just these guys. There's many of them. There's many of them. And I have Luke 17 and 2. It says it would be better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he cast into the sea, than that he should offend one of these little ones. So if you're causing somebody who's new, who's growing, to stumble, to be led into false doctrine, ultimately, man, you have judgment prepared for you.
I have something from the book of 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 20, right? It says there, For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yahushua Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning, right? So they went so you got clean, you got washed by the word, you got this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right?
Like you were calling on the proper names, and then you went back to calling on JC because everybody else is
Or
calling on.
Christ. Or Christ. Even Bishop Nathaniel,
Yeah.
you know, calling on Christ, and he
Saying,
even
he said what he said. We don't know the Hebrew or something. We don't know the names yet. What the fuck are you talking?
doesn't Zephaniah 3:9, 9:3, saying that I will give my people a holy language.
Yeah.
You don't think that the Lord is going
Lost
to
on
send
God.
down the Lashon Kodash to those that are able to receive it, those that are predestined to receive it and obtain salvation? He's going to send forth prophets in these last days, and he's giving the prophets that are sincere, okay, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. For the rest of you people, you're not going to you're going to be blinded. The elect have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
And we have receipts too of the true names, man. You see it on the damn Moabite stone. You see that on many Native American
Artifacts, yeah.
artifacts, right?
Artifacts.
And even the History Channel itself, they said, they literally said Esau, and Esau even said the names correctly when he read out loud in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man.
The proof is in the pudding. This is true, man. The Lord is going to reveal this to those that are willing to receive it. But if you're still stuck up on that fake fucking name, Jesus Cristo, calling Guadalupe, or even to you Israelites out there that call on Yah or Yahuwah or Ahaya or
All those people have
whatever,
spirits
man.
on them,
But
bro.
all you people got spirits on you, man. And ultimately, man, for those people that knew the truth and went off for whatever reason, I'm going into the book of Proverbs 26:11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. So that means, you know, if you go back, you're going. It's like a dog that pukes. All right. My cat, for example, pukes all over the floor, starts licking up his shit and puke. That's something that a beast does. All right. Somebody that doesn't, you know. But this is the definition. This is the way you people are, man. Going back to your vomit, going back to get that bag, and the demons are gonna hit you even harder. Well, that's what you say, man. With the 7 demons.
Yahweh Shai could take away that Holy Spirit from you and then send 7 demons, man. The scriptures do talk about that.
Yeah, it's a plague of the mind that you don't even realize that you're being plagued. It's just you're completely oblivious to it. That's the terrifying part.
It's worse than death.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. And that's a warning, man, to all you Israelites out there. There's a lot of sincere Israelites out there that I know, and they see this, then this is for you. Don't be going around watching a little bit of IUIC, a little bit of a little bit of Sakari or whatever's left of that. Or
WFI.
WFI.
That's what
Alright.
scriptures say in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 9. It says, "A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump." You're going to one guy that's preaching the correct doctrine, right? And then you're going to another group. All of a sudden, they're saying that the mark of the beast is this, and then you have another group that's saying the proper name is this.
You want me to bring that out right
Right? They're these people are bullshit
now?
artists.
I had,
They're leading.
right
They're
after.
literally leading the flock astray, man. And you're going to these people.
I could bring this up, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a real quick precept. Go wrong with what the brother said. This is James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So pick a side, man. Pick a side. Scriptures in Amos 3:3 say, "Can 2 or more walk together, lest they be agreed?" You got to be on the same doctrine, bro. You can't be learning from this one and that one, and then tying it all in together, because that's going to cause confusion, and the Lord's not an author of confusion.
Yeah, that's right, man. Elder Apostle Tahar said this is the year of apostasy.
Yep.
Right, sellouts, bug outs, man. This is book of 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. It says here, now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, right?
Yep.
So what, man? They heard the truth, but for whatever reason, right? A demon hopped on them, or some devil persuaded them, saying that, oh no, the Gentiles can be saved.
Yep.
Oh no.
You gotta have
But you
love,
feel bad
have
'cause
love in your heart.
These
Be
people
saved.
love.
You
They
have
love
love
the
in your heart.
heathens, bro. They love the heathens that don't even care about the Lord.
Yeah.
You
These-
love the people that put you into captivity. That's
these-
why you have Stockholm syndrome.
Your ancestors, okay, your forefathers,
They
get
put
stomped out, spit on, raped, and
torture devices in you, man.
torture devices, wrapped up in chains like fucking sardines, going on the ships, and you have mercy for these people? Fuck out of here, man. Yeah, I got this precept in the book of 1 Peter 5:8, and this is going into what the brother Selah. Do you have anything else?
No, that's
This is what was going with the brother Selah was just saying. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So the devil, his main goal is to sift you. He wants to see if you have any little openings, any weak points, and he wants to try to get in and entice you, and then slowly plague your mind. He gives you a thought, and you say, "Oh man, you know what? But the heathen is that." You hear an Israelite leader or so-called leader talk about heathens having mercy, and then you start to believe that a little bit, and then Satan starts to work in with you, and then before you know it, then you're believing something completely different than what you were once taught, and that's the problem, man. You got to be sober, you got to be vigilant. All right, you got to always.
These same people are teaching that the mark of the beast is not the chip,
Yeah.
right? And they're also teaching the heathens are going to be they're going to make it. Man, that's the thing. You listen to one thing these people say, man, and then you're all of a sudden, man, your whole going back to what I said, a little leaven at the
Yeah.
whole lump, right? Your whole doctrine becomes off.
Yeah, this is not for entertainment. This is not because you're supposed to show out with the t-shirt and fringes and listen to the Israelite rap and yeah, Kwame Asharala, yeah. No, man, we're here to tell you the prophecy directly and correctly, true sound doctrine according to Titus 2:2-1. I think speak out things according to sound doctrine.
That's
We're
right.
not speaking what we feel. We're speaking what the scriptures say, what the scriptures have told us, and we learned this through the prophets that have been assigned the role to teach this. And we're teaching what was taught, and we're very thankful for the beloved elders and apostles because they laid out the foundation for us.
I got
Bring that out.
scripture. This is the book of Jeremiah 3:15, and it says, "I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding."
Yep. A lot of you people want to be the what we call solo dolo Israelites, individualites. We knew this one guy, individualite, right? He was bugged the fuck out of his fucking mind, bro. He was believing the true name. Then he started putting on his story of crying and having mercy for these heathens, and he was talking to the Yahuwahlites. Bugged the fuck out, man. And this is a terrifying thing, man, because the Lord will bring people in, and they know that they're Israelites, but they're believing something that's completely contrary to what the scriptures say. And this is why we're telling you, this is a warning, man, to all those what we call solo dolo Israelites, man, that they're not learning from the true prophets. You're in dangerous territory, man, learning from these other camps and congregations. If it's not Great Millstone and the ones that teach the true doctrine of Great Millstone, you're in a very dangerous position. All right, you better wake up. All right,
Yeah, scripture speaking about sound doctrine.
sound doctrine. Titus 1:9 and Titus 2:1. Titus 1:9 and Titus 2:1. Want to bring that out, but you know. Because listen, we're in the last days, and what we were talking about earlier, me and the brother say lies, that the Lord's perception of time is way different than ours. So there's times where years feel like nothing's going by, everything is just chill, or there's not much going on, and then there's weeks, days, hours where it feels like things that would have happened in a year happen at that moment in time, and the Lord doeth all things. The way He controls things is far beyond the way we imagine, and this is why we're telling you, time is speeding up.
You don't get a G-Wagon and expect right when the world's about to end, right? With that mindset. These people, they really don't think the world's gonna end. They prophesy what sweet things, right? They want to hear those good things. They want to hear prosperity, right? They want to talk about. They don't want to hear destruction and
Itching ears.
yeah.
Itching ears. And they're like a parrot. A parrot hears something, but they just repeat it. They repeat it, they regurgitate it, but they don't believe
Understand.
it. They
Yeah.
don't understand it. You got to understand this. This is not something where you hear it and you say it, but deep down inside you don't believe it. No, you got to believe it, bro. If you don't believe it, then there's a problem, and you got to examine yourself. All right? You got to really look into yourself. If you have stuff that you don't believe in, or that you're having questions about, you got to look deep into yourself, man, and pray to the Lord and go on a fast that the Lord takes you out. Because the Lord, he's gonna ultimately direct you the right way if you're sincere. All right. If He predestines you for salvation, and this is the topic that we were speaking about earlier, if the Lord predestines you for salvation, He's gonna make you victorious no matter what, and He's gonna lead you down the right direction. He's not going to allow you to go and believe that the mark of the beast is a sea hip and then you go and take it. If you are the elect, that's not going to happen. All right. You have anything?
No, that's for me, Ak.
I have Amos 8:11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So there's going to be a time very soon, and I mean very soon, where you're not going to be able to have the ability to go on and learn from the brothers that are teaching true doctrine. You're gonna go on YouTube and you're gonna hit the screen and it's gonna buffer.
You're already seeing, like, you already sometimes you'll try to log on to the Blue Letter Bible
Yep.
app, right? The Blue Letter Bible app, and it'll just like not work. And then YouTube, right? There are some Amazon Web Services shutdowns that also are linked to other platforms that you can't, right? If Amazon Web Services shut off, that means other platforms can't even like function. Like, and I'm pretty sure. Let me look this up. Actually, is YouTube affected?
What's that scripture about that you will cause the prophet's mouth to be shut?
Yeah, Ezekiel, I'll cause your tongue to cleave to the roof of your
I
mouth.
will cause the tongue. Let me bring that out real quick. I will cause.
Yeah. You want me to say? Can I say
Yeah.
this real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it says YouTube can be I'll put it right here. YouTube can be affected by Amazon Web Services outages due to the interconnected nature of the internet infrastructure. All right, all it takes is for this Amazon Web Services thing to basically shut down. A couple servers get shut down, right? And ultimately, it's up to the Lord. And then what? You're not going to hear the prophets anymore. You're not going to hear. The Lord's going to put the Spirit on us to basically stop doing camp, right? Stop. There's not going to be any more videos, right? So you have to get the oil in your lamp right now, because then there's gonna be a time where there's you know what I'm saying, what does it say? Go to the sellers and buy.
Yep.
Right? There's gonna be a time where you're not gonna be able to no longer you get any more oil in your lamps, and that oil represents wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
And if you want to bring out the parable of the virgins, I got a scripture that I want to bring out, and then we could wrap it up after. But this is Ezekiel 3:26 through 27. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, and thou shalt be dumb, and thou shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, he that heareth, let him hear, he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. So there's a lot of our people that are going to reject this, and ultimately, they're going to be set up to be destroyed. Those people that can't receive it are going to be born for the spirit, for the purpose of being a spirit created for destruction at that appointed time. But for those that are able to receive this knowledge and understanding, the Lord is giving you mercy. He's extending his mercy, and the doors of mercy are starting to close. They are starting to close. Once the Lord seals up the final elect, that's it. That's it.
I got this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25. It says the parable of the 10 virgins. I'll bring it out in the KJV. It says, Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to the 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Right? The bridegroom represents what? Yahushua. Now 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. And that represents what? The 5 wise virgins represents the 1/3, and the 5 foolish wives represents those 2/3, right? Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. And that oil represents wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Yep.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, Behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, No, lest there should not be enough for us and you. But go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut.
Yep. So you're not going to be able to, in the last days, to just go and ask somebody, hey, can I pay you to get this?
Yep.
No, that's it. You're not going to be able to understand because you weren't taking the time to prepare.
And so afterwards, the other virgins came also, saying, Lord, Lord, open up to us. But he answered and said, Surely I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming.
Yep.
Right. So we don't know the day or the hour, but we still have to get the oil, right? Which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right. You don't. This is not like a test where you cram in and procrastinate at the last minute.
Yeah.
You go on Quizlet and then start fucking trying to cram in for your test.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be sincere.
Yeah.
You have to study to show thyself approved, right? And when you're studying, you don't just study all in one day. You have to right? That's not even how the brain works. You have to you have to you see these you have to repeat these things over and over a period of time.
Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You know, you're breaking things apart. You're understanding it. You're not just stuffing yourself to the point where you're going to throw it back up because you wanted to just say that you read 10, 20 chapters in a day. I mean, if you could do that and the Spirit is making you do that and you're understanding it, that's one thing. But if you're just doing it for the sake of numbers, no. You had something to say, brother?
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you're not gonna have that faith on that day, man. That's something you gotta build up to, man. Yeah, having that faith, you might be in a situation where you might be surrounded by a bunch of troops, or you might be under the guillotine, or you might about to get incinerated, or whatever, man. It's not gonna be like, oh, I have faith now.
Yeah.
You're like, no, you need to been having that faith since you got into this truth, man.
Preparation, because wisdom, just like the brother said, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of thy times, the strength of salvation. All right, so that's what's going to prepare you to that day, to that hour of temptation. That's what we're doing now. This is the book of 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if ye do these things ye shall never fall. So you're not half-assing this, you're not really putting this in the back of your head. No, this is the first and foremost priority, because you know that we if you really care, we're gonna make it out. You got to do whatever it takes to put it all on the table, to give diligence, to make your call and election sure. You know, because if you die tomorrow, you want to know that you did everything in your might. You did everything with your heart and your mind to please the Lord, to give your best effort. And that's what we're telling you, brothers and sisters, on right now. You got to give your best effort. Now is not the time to be kicking back and slacking off and sitting in the retirement chair. No, man, we're at the end of the world. I have one more precept. If anybody else has anything.
No.
No?
I'm good.
I have one more precept. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain, it is not in vain in the Lord. So you got to be steadfast, meaning you got to always be constantly like hungry and thinking about it. Like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this day in and day out. Every day. Every day has its own worries. Don't take too much thought in the morrow. All right. Focus on the day at hand. Don't be thinking too much in the future, because you don't even know when your last day is going to be. Take it day by day. All right. Keep things simple. Keep things simple. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to do more than you can't handle. And always abound in the work of the Lord. So you got to be diligent day in and day out. All right. Not once a week like these Christians. They show up once every Easter, once every Christmas to go listen to the scriptures, and then the rest of the time they just do whatever. No, every single day, man. Always abounding. All right. And if you do that, your labor is not going to be done in vain, as long as the Lord's dealing with you and you're predestined for salvation. This is all through the Lord wanting to the Lord predestinating you for salvation. All right. But we got to put on as the elect. We got to do the best that we can. And that's what we're on here trying to do. You know, and tell you brothers and sisters out there watching that are able to receive it. So with that being said, anybody else have any other precepts? Anything else? Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, you Akim wa Akwath were edified with this side camp. With that being said, we want to close out and give all glory, honor, and praises to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem, Rakakadai.
double honors unto the elders and apostles of the great millstone, who rule well and teach well in sincerity and charity. Peace and salutation unto the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, and the 1/3. I'm the brother Yahweh Sop.
This is Brother Barak.
It's Brother Salah.
Shalom.
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 Shalom.